NFL Week 3 is here. Our best bets are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. I'll introduce him again in just a few moments. But as always, this is a video we post every Wednesday, and we go through every single NFL game. I do want to note a couple things. Number one, we're going to skip Thursday Night Football because we do an entirely separate video for Thursday Night Football posted right after this one. So you'll hear our thoughts. I'll bring on Logan in that one. Number two, we're using all of DraftKings odds. So if you are new to DraftKings, they have a great offer right now out there for you. You definitely can take advantage of it. It will be linked down below in the description. But the offer, pretty dang good. If you go on there, use our link, I believe at the top of the description, you bet $5, you get $250 in bonus bets plus NFL Plus for a month, which includes RedZone. Pretty cool offer. I encourage you to take advantage of that. And then my last and final note is I don't think I have another final note. Let's bring on Logan. Logan, we had a great week two. Well, not a great week two, not as great as week one. We both went 8-8 last week. Week one, you went, I think, 9-3. I went 7-4. Still pretty solid season if you've just been blindly betting every single one of our picks. But we need to do a little bit better than 8-8, and hopefully we dial it in this week. But we, as always, I feel like it's cool to start off with a little trivia or look at something because we're only 2 weeks in. We don't want to overreact to things. But I will pull up every single team this season that is currently 0-2. And if you don't know, I have a couple stats for you. Since the start of since 2022, about only 1 in every 10 teams to start 0-2 has made the postseason. And if you drop teams that drop to 0-3, 103 teams, I believe they only get to the playoffs at a 2% rate. So a lot of winnings teams need to win here. If you were to hitch your wagon to one of these teams to make the playoffs, who would be your favorite one to hitch your wagon to?
Yeah, I think looking at this list, there's an obvious answer. It's the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, they struggled out of the gate a little bit. Surprising loss as nearly double-digit favorites at home to the Raiders. But this Ravens team's just too talented. They'll figure it out. They have a good running game with Derrick Henry. They need to integrate him more into the offense. They have a good defense that we saw against the Chiefs. That ended up being a coin flip type game. And the Chiefs are going to be there when the dust settles. So this Ravens team is still good. I wouldn't hit the panic button in Baltimore at all. They're playing a division, too, that I would argue is still up for grabs, even though you got the Steelers out to a nice start. But that's definitely not a division that the Steelers are going to run away and hide with. So for me, it's a clear Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, I think I was scared you didn't go with the Panthers. I thought, hey, man, we got Andy Dalton under the helm. We'll talk with that in a little bit. My pick in the same division, I think, is the Bengals. I mean, you could argue week one, they could have beaten the Chiefs last week. I still think this Bengals team has a lot of talent. I think they can easily go out there and win some games, and we'll talk with them. They're playing on Monday night against the Commanders. That is a must-win for them. I like them. I also sneakily like the Jaguars, but I'll talk with them later on in this video. But Logan, people came here for best bets. We need to dive into the games, and we're going to start with the first game in Tampa, close to where I live, as we have the Buccaneers hosting the Broncos. Bucs are 6.5-point favorites, minus 300 on the money line, 830 to 9.5-point total. Logan, I'll let you lead things off. Anything that has caught your eye in this first game of the slate?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and lay the points with the Buccaneers. Look, this is just not a spot I can get to with Denver. I mean, what do we know about Todd Bowles? He's going to blitz the heck out of Bo Nix. That's what he's going to do. And good luck. Because Bo Nix is just he's not looked good. That offense has not gotten continuity yet. And this Bucs team is looking really good. My only concern is that they're coming off a really big win in Detroit. Did they come out a little bit slow, a little complacent? Because in the NFL, that's where you really, those trap games exist. This is kind of a trap game. Now, I wouldn't be shocked at all if Denver hung around, kept this one a field goal type game. But Denver will not be getting my money until I really see something different from Bo Nix in that offense. I got to roll with the Bucs on the spread.
Yeah, we won't agree on every single game in this video for sure. We haven't talked about any of them, but I will be there back with the Bucs. I don't know how anyone could go out there and back the Broncos. I think you kind of nailed it on the head. The only way I feel like the Broncos cover is if the Bucs just don't wake up and are locked in for this game. But you're right. Todd Bowles going to blitz the heck out of him, and good luck, Bo Nix. His pass catchers have just not been on the right chemistry. I don't know how I'd want to back him. What is this? This got to be his first road game too. Count me out. I'll lay the points with the Bucs coming off a big win. Let's hope they can stay motivated there. Next game, we have battle of 2-0 teams, Chargers and Steelers. Who would have thought would be here? Both these two teams 2-0, and the books basically have this as a pick 'em. Steelers slight favorites, minus 125. The over under 35.5. I think this is the lowest over under on the board. And I'm going to keep it simple, Logan. I'm going to take the under here. It's 35.5. You don't see that in the NFL. It's low for a reason. We think about the Steelers defense, one of the best units. They faced a very tough Falcons offense and did a pretty good job on them. Now they get the Chargers offense is coming off a bye week. They played the Panthers last week. Still, I don't have a lot of faith in Herbert. He's dealing with injuries. I don't have faith in their wide receivers and Quentin Johnston. Other than that, not a lot of talent there. And then they're really banking on J.K. Dobbins being the leading rusher in the league. And I think that comes to a little bit of a screeching halt here. So give me the under 35.5. It's low, but hey, I'll take a stab on that one. But Logan, what do you like in this game?
I like the Steelers spread -1.5 or spread money line too. However you want to back Pittsburgh, I like Pittsburgh. I think that's the side to be on. This is a home opener for the Steelers. Their first 2 games on the road. We know how good that Pittsburgh crowd is. They are one of the best fan bases in the NFL for a reason. They will bring the energy. They will put life into what is it, Acrisure now. I really do think looking at this Chargers offense as well. I mean, heck, against the Carolina Panthers, a lot of bad teams can look really good because the Panthers, their coverage bust on Quentin Johnson was ridiculous. I mean, and J.K. Dobbins is going to run for 1 million yards on a team that I don't even know what defenses or what Carolina's defense is allowing yards per carry wise, but I swear, Austin, I watched that game and J.K. Dobbins wasn't touched until 8 yards past the line of scrimmage. This Pittsburgh defense will shut them down. There's a reason why this total is so low. Do I love backing Justin Fields? No, but I still think this is the right side to be on. Defense will force a few turnovers, and Watt, he's going to wreak havoc in the backfield like the Steelers in that one.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Alt has been shutting down opposing big tight end. I mean, we saw Max Crosby couldn't do anything. I mean, what is this? I saw his nickname, Control Alt Delete. That's pretty lit. That's pretty lit for a lineman. About as lit as it can get for an offensive lineman. We'll see, but the rest of their line's going to have to hold up on him. Carolina, 4.9 yards per carry. 24. I feel like they've seen a lot more volume than the other teams, so maybe that's why 4.9 isn't too high. If we look at last year where 4.9 would be, that'd be second to last. Only the Broncos last year allowed more. So they'll be climbing down that rankings. But we'll get into the Panthers later. No more to harp on them. Let's move on into the next game. Giants taking on the Browns. The Browns are 0-2, not looking great. Giants probably could have won last week if they had Graham Gano, but lost their kicker. That's tough. You have the Browns laying a big number, -6 here, 38.5 total. Logan, I hate this game. I hate it. But is there anything you laying points with the Browns? What do you feel here?
Yeah, you had a little slip in there. The Browns are actually 1-1. They did win last week.
Oh yes, no, I forgot. Yes.
Yeah, but either way, this is definitely not my favorite game on the slate. I would put my confidence at like a 3 out of 10, but I would take the under. And it really comes down to, do I think Daniel Jones is going to go into this environment and be able to move the ball? I don't really see it. I mean, Singletary had a good week last week. Neighbors had a good week against a very decimated, terrible Commander secondary. Now you face a team that plays defense and ground and pound. They play clock control football. Give me the under in this one, 38.5. Again, not my favorite side or total in this one, but I think it's the right one.
Yeah, sorry, Browns fans. You guys are 1-1. Although I'd argue you probably deserve to be 0-2, and I think you know it. I'll take the under. I don't even want to give a sell job on either team. I'm not laying points with Deshaun Watson, not taking points with Danny Dimes. And I think if there's only one calling card for the Giants, typically they're a better rush defense. They got absolutely decimated last week by Brian Robinson. I think their rush defense, and maybe they're a little bit more concerned about Jaden Daniels and his rushing ability. I don't think I'd be as concerned with Deshaun. I'll take the under here. I don't know. I don't have any confidence in either on team's offense. Give me the under 38.5. Logan, we're squad riding, if you will. This is one of the biggest games on the slate, though, Logan, this next one. Saints hosting the Eagles. Now, the Eagles obviously lost on Monday Night Football. Saints are one of the surprise teams at 2-0. Logan is a big Saints hype beast. I'll let him talk with him in a second. This line opened at Eagles -3. It's almost completely flip-flops. You now have the Saints as favored at home. Logan, you riding with the Saints? I know you rode with them last week and they made you look like a genius. You doing it again on Sunday?
Of course. There's no reason not to. I mean, this Saints team is probably the hottest team in football right now. You could argue that. Derek Carr is looking amazing. Again, we're not asking Derek Carr to go out and win playoff games or do anything out of his ability. This offense for the Saints, what is it? They've scored on like how many possessions? I mean,
I don't know. Their punt rate's like 5% or something stupid.
Yeah, so this Saints offense has just been absolutely ridiculous. We saw them go into Dallas, a decent Dallas defense, obliterate them. And then we saw the Eagles defense, who I would argue all you needed was a stop at the end of that game. You let Kirk Cousins go up and down the field on you and win that game, snatch it right from you. Give me the hot team, the Saints. I've been pounding this drum that the Saints team is good. I mean, yeah, they played the Panthers week 1, Cowboys week 2, whatever. But their defense is legit. Let me tell you that right now. They will shut down Jalen Hurts. We don't know A.J. Brown's status. I think he'll probably be out. Last I checked. Yeah, give me the Saints and laying the field goal in that one.
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this one. I like the over 49.5. The Saints, and I think this really comes down to the Eagles can't stop the run. We saw Bijan run all over them. Even Tyler Algier was running all over them. We talked about how the Panthers' rush defense hasn't been great. Let's bring up some stats for the Eagles. Dead last, 6.4 yards per carry. Is that bad, Logan? It's certainly not good. They're giving up junk plays left and right. And you got Kamara. I think Taysom Hill's injured, but Kamara has been a beast so far through the season. They haven't even gotten tons of production out of the passing game outside of Rashid Shaheed. I really like them to put up some points. I also like the Eagles offense. Sure, they might be down A.J. Brown. Still, I'm confident in Kellen Moore to be able to manufacture some things there. I know the Saints defense has been really good, but hey, the way the Saints are scoring, they could maybe hit the over by themselves at 49.5. But I think the Eagles put up some points too. I still like Jalen Hurts and his rushing ability. Last year, the Saints really struggled against mobile QBs. I could see them putting up some points here. So give me the over at 49.5. I would lean the Saints, but I like the over a little bit more. Next game, another big one, a battle of 2-0 teams. Vikings hosting the Texans. I don't think anyone really expected the Vikings to be 2-0. Coming off a big win, Sam Darnold revenge game against the 49ers. They're underdogs, though, here. Houston minus 2.5. The over-under at 46. I will go first here, Logan. I'm going to lay the points with the Texans on the road. I think that was a big emotional victory for the Vikings here. I like the Texans roster. They might be down Joe Mixon here, but if there's anything the Vikings really struggle with, it's stopping the pass. And we know this Texans offense is loaded with pass catchers. I think if you're looking for props on Sunday, look at some CJ Stroud props. I think he absolutely dices up that secondary. So give me the Texans. I'll lay the points on the road, minus 2.5. If you take the money line, I'll take the minus 2.5. Logan, you going to back me or are you going to fade me?
I'm going to fade you. I'm going to be on Minnesota. I like Minnesota plus the points in this one. Look, it just comes down to Sam Darnold's looking really good. I mean, there's clips circulating of some of the reads he's making. He's fitting it in tight windows. And when Sam Darnold's doing that and not throwing to the other team, sure, why not back him? Now, obviously, there was some questions with Justin Jefferson and what his availability. I heard it was just maybe cramps. So he should be good to go, something like that. But yeah, no, give me the Vikings in this one. I like their offense. They are absolutely clicking. They're a lot better than I really expected. I think the Vikings are on my surprise teams list just because the way they're playing right now. I mean, winning that game against San Francisco, even though San Francisco was a little bit banged up, was huge. Now you once again have another home game against a Texans team that, coming off a nice little primetime game win. I don't like the spot for Houston at all. Give me Minnesota plus the points in that one.
All right, a little battle there. I like it. Next game, Packers going on the road to Nashville to take on the Titans. A Malik Willis revenge game. Can I interest you in that? We got Titans as short favored at minus 2.5 or minus 3. Over under 36.5. I can go first here, Logan. I'm back on the under. Until Jordan Love's under center, I will continue to back unders with Malik Willis at the helm. Obviously, they're coming off a big win against the Colts, who looked terrible. And maybe you want to say the Packers defense did a pretty good job, but I think they'll have a similar game plan here. If I'm going to do anything against Will Levis, just blitz him and tell him figure it out, because he looks terrible. He keeps making bonehead decisions in the red zone, which obviously is great for an under. I love the under here at 36.5. I can't get there with either side here, so I'm not doing it. Maybe, Logan, you have any ideas on the side, or you want to join me on the under, or maybe the over? What do you like here?
Yeah, this one's in my lower tier of games to bet on.
Nasty.
So it is definitely a nasty one. I'm gonna go ahead and take the Packers with the points, and here's why. Because I still think in the NFL, running game travels. What are the Packers really good at? They're really good at running the ball. I mean, that's what they do. They do not put Malik Willis in an uncomfortable, short, long yardage, go make this 3rd and 8 type throw. And when you're doing that, you're going to hang around in a lot of these games. They obviously had a good win against the Colts. Packers defense looks good in that game, at least. They didn't look good against Philadelphia, but that was a weird game, weird conditions, whatever. I still think this Packers defense is a lot better than the Titans defense. When the dust settles and the end of the year comes, Packers defense will be ranked significantly higher than the Titans. And give me the Packers plus the points in this one. I'm not laying any points with Will Levis at home. He can't take care of the ball. He's just a bonehead. He's a bonehead with the ball. And until he shows me better ball management, give me the Packers plus the points.
I feel like the sharp spot has taken Tennessee minus the points, but you can't price ass. And we say that before, and Will Levis has been ass this year. I'm out. I'd lean Packers. Give me the under, though. Next game, Bears taking on the Colts. Colts short favorite here, minus 120 on the money line, over under 43.5. Logan, I've been going back and forth on this game. I'm not a big Anthony Richardson guy. He looked bad last week. Caleb Williams, I feel like he's playing flag football. He gets hiked and no one's blocking for him. It's like, have fun. Is there anything that you have a conviction here? It's not my favorite game on the slate. Anything you're liking?
I actually like the over in this one. I think it's a little bit higher than we should see in this spot. Again, if you just look at all these games compared side by side, I think this one being in the low 40s is kind of indicative of what I think is going to be a sneaky high scoring game. Now on paper, it doesn't look like it. You got Caleb Williams in an offensive line that can't block. You've got Anthony Richardson, who just looked bad last week, couldn't make any of the throws. But what do we know about this Colts offense? They want to stretch the field. They want the big explosive plays. I think the Bears can give them up. And I like this Bears. Every week that Caleb Williams gets acclimated to the NFL is a better week under his belt. He's building chemistry with his wide receivers. It's a rough ride. It's a bumpy ride. But this Colts defense, I'd argue their secondary hasn't looked all that great. I mean, last week you let a team that was one-dimensional push you around a little bit. They did not win the line of scrimmage in that one. Yeah, I think this one is a sneaky, high-scoring game. Like, this one's got, if I were to try to, score predict, it's got, 21-24 written all over it. Just a weird game that creeps over the total, and you didn't see it coming. I like the over.
Yeah, I like the over as well, but I'll actually back the Bears here. I'm out on Anthony Richardson. I don't think he can read defenses. And if he's just going to chuck it deep, teams can prepare for that. You saw the Packers. They're like, fine, you're going to throw it deep. We're going to make you actually throw the ball and, dink and dunk, and he can't do it. And I think the Bears' kryptonite so far is this season, it's sure their offensive line hasn't been great. They face some, tougher lines. I mean, the Texans have a really good defensive line. And, week one, love them or hate them, whatever. But I just feel like they're going to be able to get the job done here. And the real kryptonite has been running the football. The Bears are averaging the fourth fewest rush yards per attempt. DeAndre Swift, what do you have yesterday or on Sunday? 14 carries for 18 yards. Terrible. But the Colts rush defense has been absolutely brutal. I think they're giving up the most, if not close to the top rushing yards per game. I think they set up Caleb Williams with some second and shorts, like second and 4 or 5, which is much better than the, hey, second and 10, have fun. I really like the Bears, though. I think if I had to bet any team there, I'd back the Bears. But I do agree with you. I think it's a higher scoring game. And I think if it's higher scoring, I feel like the Bears putting up points, I like their defense late in that game more than the Colts. That's what I like. But, Logan, it's time. Panthers on the road in Las Vegas, taking on Raiders. Raiders, 5.5-point favorites, coming off a big win against the Baltimore Ravens. Over under 41.5. Logan, you're a Panthers fan, man. We need your take. How you feeling with Andy Dalton under center? You think they can cover?
I don't know about covering. And honestly, my best bet in this one is it's not a side, and it's not the full game total. It's just Panthers team total under 17.5. I mean, to me, it's like a prove it spot for this offense. This looks like one of the worst offenses I have ever seen in football. Yes, can it be improved with a veteran quarterback like Andy Dalton? Sure it can, but I'm not paying to see it. I'm going to still continue to fade in until they can actually convert on anything. It took them forever just to pass midfield. Bryce Young had under 100 passing yards, which for an NFL quarterback trailing in a whole entire game is one of the most abysmal, disgusting things I've ever watched. The offensive line, they snap the ball, and the defensive line is in the lap of the quarterback within 1 second. It's crazy to see. And these wide receivers for Carolina cannot get separation. Deontay Johnson, love him to death, but he can't get separation. Adam Thielen's past his prime. It's the Panthers team total under, just because I don't want to ask the Raiders to cover a very square spread. Like last week, I tried to get sharp, take Panthers with the points. Worked out poorly.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, poorly. And I'm not going to try to do that again. But I'm just going to say, hey, Raiders, with all of your good pass rushers, Max Crosby, etc., go hunt Carolina, and I don't think Carolina is going to manufacture. You need 2 touchdowns and over a field goal. I mean, to cash the 17.5 over. No, thank you.
Well, if you're not going to bet Panthers, God damn it, I will. I'll take them plus 5.5. It is so nasty, but Bryce Young looks like me back there. He sucked. And I like Andy Dalton. We saw him back last year when he started a game or two. He was actually serviceable. It's not like guys aren't open. Adam Thielen was streaking down the middle of the field, and Bryce Young's instead of stepping up in the pocket, he's running deep. This is a beautiful spot for the Panthers to bounce back against a Raiders team that's coming off a big win. No one expected them to win there. Now you're going to go in a 4 o'clock window. Raiders ML or teaser will be in the teaser. Will be in every single teaser or parlay. Panthers might mess around and win outright. I'll take the points. Panthers plus 5.5. There we go. Now we're getting spicy. We're going the Dolphins taking on the Seahawks. Seahawks minus 4.5. 41.5 point total. Now, as of we recording this, Tua Tagovailoa just placed on IR. Get well soon. Hopefully he's back playing for the Dolphins later in the season. That would be good to see. But who's starting at QB? I don't know, Logan. Skylar Thompson? I don't know. It could be they just picked up Huntley from the Ravens. I hate this game. I hate it with a passion. Please convince me to bet on either the total, the side. What do you like here? Because I really don't like this game at all.
Yeah, no, this is definitely not one of my favorite games to bet. Just because one of those things is like Skylar Thompson will get 0 of my money, like 0. I think he's one of the most awful quarterbacks I've seen in a minute. Seahawks looks like a free, pretty square spot. I really do think though in this one, it's still gonna. My lean would be to the over 41.5. It's kind of nasty asking the Dolphins to put up points, but if I'm in that Dolphin scheme, you still got talent. You're still able to hopefully get the ball to some of those pass catchers that can get up and down the field. We saw the Seahawks defense. I'd argue they didn't look great on the road against New England last week. What's exactly going to change against Miami, a team that knows how to move the ball? They've had obviously a week plus to prepare for this one. I think the Dolphins in this one can hang around, put up points of their own, and then I do like the Seahawks to put up points. I like these receivers that Geno has. Jackson Smith and Jigba, DK obviously. There's a lot of receiving options for Seattle, so I think my best bet in this one would be the over. I can't get there with either of the sides, but I do like the over.
Yeah, I've been looking at this one. I wish we knew who was starting. We're obviously recording this late on Tuesday night. I'd lean towards the over with you if you told me Huntley was starting. And I don't think Huntley's all that good. But Skylar Thompson, he is absolutely terrible. And I don't know how he's going to be able to move the ball. It's basically, we're going to need Devon Achane to have a 200-plus yard masterclass. And it's certainly possible.
You could.
Man, I really don't like this game. If you can't tell, I'll take the Seahawks minus the points. It's disgusting. I have no faith in it. Out of 10, 1.5 stars out of 10. It's just not a pick I love. But I have to fade Skylar Thompson. I think he's terrible. I don't hate your over pick, but I think if it's going to go over, you're probably going to need some Seahawks points. Give me the Seahawks minus the 4.5. Disgusting, but I think it's a winner. Seahawks, ew. Let's move on to the next game. We have 49ers taking on the Rams. 49ers minus 7.5. Over under 43. 49ers now down, obviously, CMC. We're now down Deebo Samuel. George Kittle looks like he'll be healthy. He did go to the locker room on Sunday, but he looks good. I have a pick on this one, Logan. Give me the Rams. Team total under 17.5. I just mentioned some injuries for the 49ers. Well, that's because I haven't mentioned the injuries for the Rams. We're obviously down Puka Nacua. Cooper Kupp's dead. Kyron Williams, not dead, just bad. And then their offensive line is absolutely decimated. They're maybe get some guys back here off suspension and stuff, integrate them. I don't know how they're putting up 18 points. 49ers coming off a loss against the Vikings where you were right. Sam Darnold was Dyson. He was just going crazy on Sunday. I have no faith in the Rams to be able to move the football, especially against a team that can stop the run. Didn't do a great job stopping Ty Chandler and Aaron Jones last week. I think they'll be locked in here coming off a loss. I'm not laying the points at minus 7.5 because this could be a lower scoring game. Give me the Rams team total under 17.5. But Logan, what's your pick here?
Yeah, this is one of those games that to me, like, there's only one way to go, and that's the Rams plus the points. I'll go ahead and take a shot on them. Look, you're giving me a touchdown and a half, big spread, obviously at home. veteran quarterback in Stafford. I just trust this Rams this Rams team to get up for this matchup. I mean, you got a Niners team that I would argue is reeling a bit. I mean, their defense didn't look all that great last week. Sure, it's a mash unit on both sides for these teams. I just asked myself, can Sean McVay scrape together enough offense to be able to move the ball and keep this a one-possession game? I do. And if I think that, also what I imagine will be the afternoon chase will be Niners minus the points. I think that's an afternoon chase. It just looks easy. A great 49ers team coming off a loss. Not so fast. I like the Rams in this one. I just really think that Matt Stafford's going to have one of those like epic type performances, keep them hanging around. Maybe they lose this game by like 4 or 6, just something weird like that. But they keep it within one possession. Give me the Rams plus the points in that one.
All right, we'll see how that one goes. Next game, Lions taking on the Cardinals. Lions short favored minus 2.5, over under 52.5, the largest total on the board. I'm not getting involved with the over under, Logan. I'm going to take the Lions minus the points. Coming off a loss to the Bucks. Jared Goff hasn't looked great. I think I looked at his projected stats. If you were to just extrapolate how he's done so far this season and do it the whole season, 9 touchdowns, 26 interceptions. That's not great. But what the Lions are really good at is stopping the run. And the Cardinals have been able to run this season. I don't think they're able to run on Sunday. If Kyler Murray continues to meet around everyone and make crazy plays, I'll live with it. Tip my cap. This is a big Lions victory. I think they win this one by 10 or more points. Give me the Lions minus the 2.5. Logan, what you like?
I like the Cardinals plus the points. I like that we're on different sides in this one. This Cardinals offense, I'd argue, one of the best units in football right now. They are moving the ball with conviction. Kyler Murray looks, damn it, I don't want to say it, but he looks MVP type Kyler Murray, which that's what I need to see. Kyler Murray sort of fades through the second half of the year. Maybe he gets injured, whatever. But right now, at this moment, I think this Cardinals team is live. I think they are a live underdog in this one to win this game outright. Look, when it comes down to it, the Lions team is really good. They ran into a hungry Bucks team. That Bucks team was not going to lose that game. They were really hungry in that one. I could sense a little complacency in this one. In this East Coast or like Midwest traveling to the West in this one. I really do think Jared Goff is not completely dialed in, and I question Amon-Ra St. Brown's health. The guy that he just relies so much on, I don't know. He just doesn't look 100%. Obviously, he's battling through whatever he has to battle through. I still think you can key a little bit on these two backs. You stop Gibbs, you stop Montgomery in the red zone. I think this Cardinals team is a live underdog. I like them a lot. I think their offense is just too hot right now. Give me the Cardinals plus the points.
Hey, we'll see another battle between Logan and I. We'll see how those go when we recap next week. Next one, arguably second biggest, if not biggest game on the slate, the 0-2 Ravens going on the road to take on a Cowboys team that just got spanked by the Saints. And you have Baltimore, slight favorite on the road. You don't see the Cowboys as underdogs at home too often, barely here. Over under 48.5. Logan, I've gone back and forth on this game. Not really a lot of injuries to note here in this game. I don't really think any at the top of my head. Anything you're liking here in this big showdown? I mean, it's almost feels like a winner not go home, but a big spot for the Ravens. They need a win here. You think they can pull it off on Sunday?
I do. I take the Ravens on the money line. I think the reason that this game is priced like this is pretty telling. I kind of saw through the Cowboys' week 1 victory. That's why I comfortably backed the Saints in that last game. Sure, it was a lot of good Saints. But this Ravens team is they're still trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out how do we give Henry enough touches. Defensively, they're trying to figure out how to stop anything. I mean, their defense has looked bad in the secondary at times. I still think they're going to have enough in this one against Dallas and Dak Prescott. I mean, Dak Prescott, he relies, to me, too much on CeeDee Lamb. I mean, how Lamb and Dak go, so do the Cowboys. Lamar Jackson will make the plays on the ground. Look for a big Lamar Jackson running game. I think this is one of those games he's like, guys, I need you on my back. We're going to will this one to victory. Justin Tucker, who people are calling washed because he just doesn't look the same this year. Justin Tucker kicks a game-winning field goal in this one. Give me the Ravens on the money line.
I'm right there with you. I like the Ravens a lot. I'm not sold. I know the Cowboys will be better. They can't be worse than they played last Sunday, but this is a big spot. The Ravens cannot afford to lose this game and drop to 0-2 or 0-3. I love them a lot. And I think what we know about the Ravens have a very good secondary. Their rush defense has been hit or miss. They coming up against a Raiders team that can't run the football. Secondary has to be better. Gardner Minshew was dicing them up with Devontae, Brock Bowers. Their secondary will be better. And you're right. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, do we have a lot of confidence in Jalen Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, and those guys? Not really. We'll see if Jake Ferguson's healthy. They can't establish the run either with Rico Dowdle, Deuce Vaughn, and Zeke. So I like the Ravens. Let's see if Justin Tucker kicks the game-winning field goal. That'd be lit. But I do like the Ravens to pull off the win in the Big D. Next game, we have the Chiefs going on the road to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. This is Sunday Night Football. Chiefs -3.5. Over-under sitting at 46.5. Logan. I'm going to get involved here. I'm taking the under at 46.5. This is obviously the Chiefs' first road game. And the Falcons, while their offense looked good in that 2-minute drive from Mr. Captain Kirk, outside of that, they weren't great in the red zone. And that's where this comes down to. Can you stop and force field goals in the red zone? I think they can. I don't mind the Falcons' defense at all. I think they have some really good safeties. And I haven't seen a lot from this Chiefs offense that has looked great this year. Isaiah Pacheco now down. Who knows how long he's out. Brought in Kareem Hunt. That's going to be a mass unit at the running back spot. I don't think they have as much production from there. I like the under at 46.5. But Logan, what do you like here?
I've talked myself into taking the Falcons with the points in this one. And it really comes down to the Pacheco loss. I think that's going to be a very, very big loss because they rely a lot on Pacheco. Out of the backfield, obviously running the ball and receiving too. Because Patrick Mahomes, a lot of these times is quick hiking, swing pass to Pacheco. You can't replace a guy like that in the offense just in 1 week's time. Now, maybe Andy Reid, offensive genius, can, but I like what I'm seeing with this Falcons defense. From all the points you just said, they bowed up in a primetime matchup against an Eagles team in Philadelphia, and we're holding them in the red zone. They only won that game because their defense did what they had to do. I really do like the Falcons defense a lot in this one. Kirk Cousins is starting to build chemistry in that Atlanta offense. I like to see Darnell Mooney get involved. Drake London's ascending as well. Yeah, Bijan Robinson's a beast too. Like, there's a lot to like for this Falcons team. This would be a huge game for them, welcoming in the Super Bowl champs. Yeah, give me the Falcons with the points in this one.
Yeah, if I had to bet either side, I was going to lean the Falcons. But I think if they cover, it's probably a lower scoring game. I don't think they really need to get into a shootout. I still like the Chiefs defense, one of the best units from last year. It's been pretty good this year. I think the Falcons +3.5 is where I would be. I just like the under a little bit more. Finally, we move on to Monday Night Football. We have a little double action. We have 2 games on Monday night. We love that. On the Monday night slate, I can afford to change my picks, although my most confident pick of the week is in this first game. Jaguars versus the Bills. I will lead things off, Logan. My most confident play of the week, and it's not going to change. Jaguars +5.5. I think there is a chance the Jaguars win this game outright. I love the Jags on Monday Night Football. I think this is a great sell high spot for the Bills coming off an absolute spanking of the Dolphins. And this Jaguars team has looked terrible. We've talked about them. They're 0-2. They've looked pretty bad, but you could argue they should be 2-0. They should have beaten the Dolphins in week 1, and they probably could have beaten the Browns in week 2. They just haven't been able to convert in the red zone. I think they figure that out. I think they go into Orchard Park. They beat the Bills outright. Give me the points, though, +5.5, my most confident play of the weekend. Logan, you got to jump. Come on, jump on board with me. It's my most confident play. You got to join me.
No, and I love your confidence, buddy, but I'm on the other side. I'm on Buffalo -5.5. Unlike you, I do not share the same optimism in this Jaguars team. I think Trevor Lawrence looks bad. I think he's kind of, I don't want to use the word trash, but he's still figuring things out. He's careless with the ball.
Keep piling it on. Keep piling on. I'll keep these receipts.
Yep, you should, because I'm comfortably laying the points with the Bills. Josh Allen's finally figuring things out. And it would take him a little bit of time to do that. I like the chemistry he's building with Shakir. I like what I'm seeing a lot from James Cook. And they were able to, where were the Jags exposed a little bit? I would argue in their rushing defense. I mean, they were getting gashed by the double-headed Browns running backs. And now you face James Cook and a Bills team that definitely wants to win at home. I mean, we talk about some of the more home field advantages. Buffalo's definitely one of those places. I wish it was cold. If this was cold, I would hammer like multiple units on this one, but it's not cold weather yet. I still have to see it from Trevor Lawrence and this Jaguars offense before I go laying any points with them. Give me the Bills, and I'll lay the 5.5 in that one.
There's no way you're gonna just straight up fade my most confident play of the week. That's just
It's disrespectful.
that's disrespectful. And you know what? When the Jags cover, I'm adding two wins to my record, and you're getting 2 L's on your record. Jags winning outright. All right, let's move on to the final game of the slate, Logan. Commanders going on the road into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. A must-win spot for Cincy. 0-2, can't afford to drop to 0-3. And the books know it. They're priced as 7.5-point favorites with the over-under sitting at 48.5. Logan, my favorite pick here. I don't really have a great lean on the side. Give me the over, 48.5. I've talked about the Commanders. Their defense is terrible. If there's ever a get-the-right spot for this Bengals offense, which looked good on Sunday, it is right here and right now. Also, the Bengals defense sucks. I will probably be on a Brian Robinson prop. That team cannot stop the run to save their lives. And if we talk about Jaden Daniels, they won last week. They didn't even score a touchdown, just kept kicking field goals. If we can get some of those converted into touchdowns, I'm sure they'll have a lot of red zone attention this week in their practices. Especially you have an extra day to prepare for this game. I like the over in this game. I think there's a realistic possibility the Bengals could put up 30 on their own, but I think that this could play out very similar to the Commanders Week 1 game against the Bucks, where the Bucks ran up the score like 37-20. Wouldn't shock me if that's the final score here. I really like the over 48.5. But Logan, what do you like here?
I'm not going to be disrespectful, but I was leaning the under just because I don't like the efficiency from what I've seen from these two teams in the red zone. So I was leaning the under. But if I'm leaning the under, why not just take all the points with the Commanders in this one? I'll take the Commanders plus 7.5. They're a team, young team figuring things out. I still like them in this spot. I do not like what I'm seeing. Joe Burrow, that was a step-up game, obviously step-up spot. Bengals felt like that was a game in Kansas City that they could have won, maybe should have won, whatever, that the flag decided that one. But I still think in this spot, Jaden Daniels is going to have one of those put the league on notices kind of rushing games. And I think he's going to hit some of those receivers that just haven't really been involved. I mean, get Terry McLaurin involved, get some of the other guys involved. I still think this Bengals defense is a little bit suspect, and if I see them being suspect in this one, I'll take the touchdown and a half with the commies in this one. Not my favorite pick on the slate, but I just think sometimes when you're betting NFL, that's just too many points to lay with a Cincinnati team that I don't think they're elite yet.
Yep, hey, that's going to do it for Week 3's edition of Best Bets. Like I said at the top of the show, we will have a separate Thursday Night Football video, which will bring on Logan into that one. He'll give out his favorite lean there, or his favorite pick there. You can check that out when it is live. I'll link it on the screen. When we have some more NFL player props, videos, and things like that for Sunday, we'll link those on the screen as well. Good luck on your Week 3 Best Bets. Hopefully, Logan and I have a great week like we did in Week 1. Very 500 last week. Let's have a great Week 3, and we'll see you guys back again next week with some more. Drop a like, subscribe. See you next week. Peace.